Today on Rick's Garage, we're in a Mustang Fastback. This is Trey's 68 Mustang Fastback. Tonight we're going to have a look at it. Hope you enjoy. As always, follow me on Instagram. That's at Rick's Garage on Instagram. Thank you. Mercy! Alright guys, this is my friend Trey, and this is his beautiful 68 Mustang Fastback. Tell me about the car.
Yeah, so 68 Fastback, this is a Jayco car, which means that it's a 302, it's a stock 302 car. It's an original GT car. The GT package came with the trim work, as you can see, that decal kit, and fog lights in the front, upgrades to the interior, so just a few little things, and an additional 25 horsepower back in 68.
And did you get a Marty report for this car, Trey?
I do have a Marty report, yes. And it is an original Highland Green, which is the infamous Bullitt car paint code.
Was the interior black originally?
It originally was ivy green, nice. So pretty hideous. And if you can imagine Highland Green with ivy green, no thanks. So we went black with it. And as you can see, the whole interior is black, seats and everything, and then went ahead and put wood grain in the dash, nice. Set it off.
I see we've got lots of patina here. It's not all original paint. Can you tell me a little history about the car, how you got it?
Sure. Yeah. So the car, as you see it, is in somewhat original condition. So it's original body panels, original doors, the original owner. Painted it back to Highland Green. Now, the car was drag raced from 2013 to 2018.
Nice. And
I have lots of images of it with the wheels off the ground, and it ran in the low 11s, so it moved. But the car came out of Texas. It was originally owned by a guy that bought it. He's the second owner of the car. He bought it in the early 70s, and so I bought it from him with no motor, no transmission, and some interior. It had a roll cage in it, and you really couldn't get in and out of the car without contorting yourself. So that was one of the first things to go.
All right, we have a small block Ford of some kind. What are we looking at?
So it's a 342 stroker. Actually bought this off of Craigslist, and it was ordered straight from a factory out in California. The guy had it in a 65 Fastback and claims he only had about 800 miles on it. It has been a great motor. I put a Holley double pumper 750 carburetor on it, and MSD ignition. It's got a Victor Jr. intake.
And maybe a coolant leak. And what heads are we looking at?
It's got AFR 185 heads.
Oh, man, those make so much extra power.
I do know that this engine on the 65 Fastback put down 378 to the wheels in horsepower, and then 392, I believe, in foot-pounds of torque. So
that might explain why your engine mounts are acting a little bit sad. Check out the interior here. I remember when Trey got this, I went over to his garage. Didn't have carpet. The dash was torn. It was puke green, what was left of the seats. Now it's got like nice new sill plates. So this is kind of a mechanical restoration with a decent interior, so it's not flinging rat turds everywhere like my truck when you drive down the highway. But yeah, Trey, let's look at what we did here. Let's start maybe steering wheel, and yeah. I think everything's got a story, right?
Yeah, so I had to go with about the best looking steering wheel on the market for these cars, and it's the GT 500 clone. Wood grain, just a 3-spoke. It's classic, just looks awesome. Gauges went stock, stock original gauges, and this car was not originally a tack car. That was an option, and I wanted a tack put in it, so went with the 6,000 RPM tack, and also added a few aftermarket gauges. These cars, they had a coolant gauge or temperature gauge, but all they say is cold and hot. So I wanted to go with more detailed gauges. I've got an oil pressure gauge, temperature gauge, and an air fuel ratio gauge as well. Of course, the classic Hurst shifter. It's a 9-inch rear end and top loader, 4-speed top loader. So went with the Hurst. That is a vintage Hurst shift ball, which I managed to find. It just fits the patina of the car, I think.
Absolutely.
This car also does have the optional fold down rear seat, and that was an option in '68. You could get the car with a fold down or just the standard back seats, and that locks in place. So
very cool. That's great. You can put the kids in here. Also catching my eye here is this Simpson racing belt. It's just a lap belt though, right?
Yep, just a lap belt, and that is a true Simpson racing belt from, I think it expired in like '86 actually.
Should hold your behind in here though if you get into trouble, probably.
I think so. There was a Boss 429 replica hood scoop that was added to it by the previous owner when he was drag racing the car.
Yeah, never came on this car, but it looks great.
Definitely never was an option back in '68, but at first I was like, that thing's got to go, but
yeah,
I think it just fits the car.
Let's have a look at it while we're talking about it. Yeah, this thing is gnarly. Looks great, like going down the road, looking out over the hood.
Yeah, that's
just seeing that.
That snout, it's just so obnoxious.
Just ramming air into there. Looking good. And then we have the hood pins here. Excellent.
The other thing I wanted to point out is I had to go with the torque thrust. And everybody knows the Bullitt car. The Bullitt car had torque thrust wheels on it. These are 15-inch wheels and American racing wheels. And I decided to, instead of painting them a gloss black or something that's really going to stand out, I went with a barbecue grill paint. So it's a heat paint, and I just taped them off and painted using heat paint. And I feel like that matches obviously the paint, the age of the car, the look of the car, and I feel like it just fits the style of the car. So
yeah, those look really good. Yeah, when they're not glossy here, they look like they have some age. Now they've been on the road for a year. Mm-hmm. Looking good. And then let's talk about some of this patina. Why aren't you painting it, Trey?
You can't. This car's in original condition. So how many cars do you see like this that are in original condition? Mm-hmm. The people that do have these cars, there's a lot of them out there. And when you do see them, you see restored, new panels, fresh paint, and you just can't. I can't do that to this car.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it kind of just takes the soul away a little bit? I mean, even though a restored car is a beautiful car, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, not to take away from a restored car, but I think the look of this car makes it that much more rare, and it also shows the history of the car.
Right.
Brings out character and what this car has kind of been through.
Yeah, you can tell she's seen the Texas sun. And it was repainted at some point. It looks like just single stage paint. Mm-hmm. Nothing special, but it's there, and it's got the age showing. A little bit of torque on the roof, probably from drag racing, twisting the unibody around. Back to the tail panel here. Here's the GT gas cap. And in Kansas, they let you use the, you can get a vintage license plate, right?
Yeah, that was $1.99 off eBay.
Nice.
Actually, so. And I chose that county. I think it's Jefferson, just because it's that black and yellow. I think it just kind of sets off the car. And
oh yeah.
Looks good.
What's going on under here?
Yeah, so 9-inch rear end, 35 spline axles. Just recently had a Pro Grip, PowerTrax Pro Grip differential installed. So instead of a one-wheel spinner, it's a two-wheel spinner.
And I'm sure everybody watching has noticed the unique exhaust note. What's going on muffler-wise? What size of pipes are you running too?
So they're 2.5-inch pipes, and I went with Paradox mufflers. And Paradox is a small company out of Missouri, but they do awesome work. It's not that droney Flowmaster sound. It's more of a raucous, old school 70s, 60s, 70s muscle car sound.
When we were driving this car here, the clutch pedal started sticking to the floor, and we think the engine is rocking a little too much, and the Z-bar popped off once too, after a little bit of spirited driving on the way here. So we might need to put engine mounts in this car really soon. Some really hard poly mounts or something like that. Well, here's why we're not going anywhere. Clutch pedal sticks to the floor. I think the return spring's right off. Maybe a little fixie action. All right, yeah. See that spring? He's not connected to anything. Should be connected to the Z-bar. Now, we don't have any tools, except these here digits. Let's see if we can get burned on some headers and pinched real hard. Gosh. Gee dang it.
Let me try.
I don't think we have the right angle with that thing, with the belt. Sorting out old cars. The sun's going down pretty quickly. We noticed that an engine mount is cracked, good 1/4 inch, and the engine flexed when Trey got on it, and basically pulled the Z-bar right off the pivot on the side of the engine block. So the engine is resting on that pivot right now, and we can't get it off. We could just do it with a broomstick or a pry bar or something, but we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere here. Sun's going down, so we'll likely have it towed. We ended up working until about midnight that night. We got the Z-bar and the springs sorted out, so at least the car could be moved and driven a little bit until Trey ordered the new high-performance engine mounts. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe to the Riggs Garage channel. Look forward to future videos with this '68 Mustang GT. She'll be back in action soon.